We should keep the theme of wacky games going. BJ from Game Gumbo. I've got my guests here, Jordan Hopper from the No Cube Zone. We're talking spicy hot wacky games, and one of those wacky games that I love to play, I just haven't played in a while, is Steam Park. Jordan, and you're a fan of Steam Park.
I am a fan of Steam Park.
All right, give us the elevator pitch. What is Steam Park all about?
So Steam Park is you're building an amusement park for robots.
Yes.
It makes me, I always think of like I'm in the world of like Futurama. So I'm pretending like Bender is a patron at my
Good. I like
at my Steam Park. So that's kind of where my mind goes with it. But yeah, there's a real-time element where you're rolling these die and placing them on your pig board, like I see in the picture there, the little pig board, but you're real-time rolling these die to select your actions. So you can pick them up and roll them again to see if you can get a different action, but there are penalties for going later on in the round. You collect dirt, as these are steam-powered robots, and they'll kind of muck up your park. And
dirt. Oh, Jordan, the dirt drives me crazy.
So, and again, I think it's just, I think it's a lot of fun. Like the real-time element of it, like the dice rolling, that is another one of those opportunities for people just to kind of like laugh about silly things. And like Steve said earlier, like it lets you feel like a kid for just a little bit.
Yeah. Why does the real-time rolling work? So the quick mechanic, you're going to roll your dice. You're going to take once you decide the ones that you want, you're going to lock those dice in. And then each person is going to grab a first, second, third, or fourth place token. And that's how we're going to set the turnover. Once that's done, you're stuck with whatever dice you got, right, Jordan? Mm-hmm. And the dice represent the different actions you're going to take, either collecting dirt, unfortunately, or putting meeples into your park, or building new rides, or maybe even getting some of those souvenir stands that they have that you see in that picture. The whole goal is over 5 rounds, something like that. 4 rounds, trying to build the biggest amusement park, scoring the most points by getting all those meeples into the park. How is it that a real-time game, which normally I don't really care for, why does it just trigger the good part of my brain, the good dopamine in the brain, not the bad dopamine?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I typically, I don't love real-time games either, but I just, this one, for whatever reason, like you said, BJ, like it just, I don't know. I think it's just the right amount of that like little kick of adrenaline, like when you're rolling the die, like trying to get just the right symbols so I can do this right thing, or when the robots go into that drawstring bag and then you're trying to pull just the right ones out, and it's just like, oh, I didn't want to pull a bunch of blue ones.
I needed a red one. I need to match up the red one. I think, there is a requirement. We're contractually obligated to talk about theme park board games at least once on this show, Steve. You know that, or else I'll lose my sponsorship. So I'm always trying to figure out what's the game that plays my favorite computer game, probably top 3 of all time. Have you ever played any of those build your own theme park computer games? Any of those?
The Roller Coaster Tycoon games?
Yeah, any of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've played a bunch on the computer, and then a couple years ago, I think they came out with versions for like iOS, so you could play it on like an iPad. And then I got it again and spent many hours playing Roller Coaster Tycoon again on the iPad.
Is this roller coaster? It's been said it's pretty close to Roller Coaster Tycoon. What do you think?
It feels a little bit like it. Just the the different rides, and you're trying to attract the different patrons and the different little stands and shops. Makes me think about having to put up my little burger joints so that people weren't hungry. Right? Yeah. I'm missing the dirt is kind of like that, where you have to hire the janitors to come clean up the messes, and so I think it is a little bit like that, and maybe that's part of what it is in my brain that's like triggering that when I'm playing this game. Is like it kind of feels like Roller Coaster Tycoon, the board game.
I feel like it's people that were fans of the game, but wanted a unique game and a unique theme. The theme is nothing like Roller Coaster Tycoon from that aspect, the Steam Park part. I got the expansion. Unfortunately, my friend at the local game store got it in during the middle of the pandemic, so I haven't even opened it yet. I just don't have anybody really to play it with. I guess I could break it. I mean, it would be fun with 3 people. We always played it with the max count because I liked the stress of getting those 4 tokens. But I guess we could play it with 2 or 3 and see. I don't know if I've ever played it with 2.
2 is okay, but yeah, I think it definitely sings more at 4. 3 is, I think 3 is good, but like the closer you get to the max player count, the better. It's because it opens up a little bit more of the chaos.
Steve, any interest at all?
Yeah, interested. I'm curious though. I have not played this one. If it is played with the chaos at a higher count, how interactive is it among the players? Are you really fighting over certain things, or are you kind of building your own thing in isolation from them?
Jordan, there is a lot of interaction, right?
Yeah. And I mean, there's, especially during the dice rolling, because it's kind of like if you've played Galaxy Trucker, it's kind of what I kind of equate that to, like when you're building the ship, but you're trying to pay attention to what other people are doing when they're finishing, because the later you finish rolling your die, maybe you can get the actions you want, but you're going to take more penalties as far as the dirt, and that can really
it can knock you out of the game.
That can snowball on you really fast if you're not careful.
I was winning a game and then just had a terrible roll in that last round. Ended up getting a ton of dirt and it knocked me out of the game. So you got to be careful with that. The other interaction, Steve, is there are a limited number of all of the different rides, and each one of the rides attracts a certain type of a certain color of people, right?
Yeah. So yeah, like kind of like in the picture you've got there, like that. There's a red roller coaster, and only the red robots want to ride the red roller coaster,
which makes sense in real life, right? The red robots want to ride a red roller coaster, right?
Right.
That happens every day.
And so if you're drawing like green and yellow robots out of the bag, like they aren't going to want to ride.
They visit your park, but they leave.
Right. They'll leave. Yeah. They'll come in, they'll see there's not the ride that they prefer, and then they're out the door.
There's also a competition for those souvenir stands. There's only like 3 a piece or 4 a piece of the 4 types or 5 types. 5 types, I think. And so again, each one of them breaks the rules of the game. So you better get the one that is going to fit your strategy during the game. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just want to pull a bunch of robots. You don't care about the colors, so you want the one that lets you slide people in.
There is one that'll let you ignore that, where just any old robot will go on any old ride. I forget which one it is exactly.
Security, maybe security,
possibly.
Yeah. So each one of those does a little bit something. One of them gives you a little bit more of this. Some of them they do different things. So the interaction is there to try to make sure that they don't take the type of rides that you're getting. And it's also sort of a tile layer. Think of those rides themselves. They look like 3D rides, but they're really tiles just built up big. So you're trying to fit them correctly onto those little squares. You can expand your park a little bit, but not a lot. So it does get kind of tight there because they have all these placement rules on there. So it acts like a tile layer. It has a tiny little speed element with the rolling that only takes about a minute of pressure, and then after that it's a euro. Do I have my correct actions this round, and can I maximize those to get the benefits that I need? As I'm building up my little engine by getting those sheds, or souvenir stands, whatever they're called. That is Steam Park.